Hey guys, what's going on? Blaine all back for another Netflix review, and today I'm going to be talking about A Copenhagen Love Story. A Copenhagen Love Story is a Danish romantic drama that tells the story of Mia, an author living in the capital of Denmark who is introduced to her partner Emil through mutual friends. The pair quickly fall in love with each other and begin planning their future, which involves starting a family. However, things don't pan out the way the couple want them to. They both deal with fertility issues that affect their ability to conceive a child, which tests the strength of both their resolve and relationship as they work hard to try and achieve what they both want. This movie takes a while to get going with its story, but this is one case where I think it works in its favor. It builds tension with the romantic introduction of the lead characters before moving into the two losing hope over their desire to have a family together. It's a heartbreaking situation whose authenticity is conveyed well thanks to the lead characters. The main character, Mia, bears the brunt of the trauma that comes with the pair's infertility. She feels like an incomplete woman and is frustrated to the point of self-loathing. And it was devastating to see the emotional toll her circumstances took on her, especially as they amplify her self-hatred. It felt like she was trying to find some way of holding onto her youth, between the guy she pursues before meeting Emil, to the characters and stories she creates in her writing. She has trouble accepting who she is, despite encouragement from the people that she surrounds herself with. And this made me invested to see if she would come around and find a way to deal with the cards she's been dealt. The same can be said for Emil as well, in his own unique way. Unlike Mia, Emil has 2 children of his own from a previous relationship, so he has the benefit of being a parent already, but still wants to have a child with Mia as well, and this raises issues as their relationship proceeds. Because he already has kids, he doesn't feel the same pressure as Mia in terms of having another one, and he also has to prioritize his own kids at certain times too, which gradually causes a rift between the two. It's a great way of showing how something so simple can lead to a big conflict between 2 loving people. Aside from that, Emil also has problems with infertility on his own end, and he becomes fatigued over the repeated process involved with naturally conceiving a child. I admire the strength he has in balancing his love for Mia and his own children while dealing with infertility on top of it all. The way the movie explores infertility is what I enjoy the most about it. It shows that not just one person is affected by it, as both parents can experience problems, and both parents can be emotionally affected by infertility in various ways. Mia is more expressive and tries to address the problem headlong, and is devastated when each step she follows doesn't give good results. Meanwhile, Emil is more reserved and tries to go with the flow while distracting himself by focusing on other things. Neither perspective is necessarily right or wrong, which makes for intriguing drama as events unfold. As I mentioned before, the story involving their infertility does take a while to get going, but that's not necessarily a bad thing. It allows the movie time to set up the dynamic of the characters' relationship and help the audience connect with them more, which in turn makes the events that follow that much more impactful. The romance between these two works so well because it feels realistic in its depiction. It starts off as an ordinary case of boy meets girl, but the two feel more loving compared to anyone else you might see in a typical rom-com. They start off with so much determination to have a child together, and then the hope between them slowly starts to erode while glimmers of hope pop up here and there. It's a fine example of showing how every love story has its ups and downs and doesn't have to follow a formula. I appreciate how romantic the movie's atmosphere is too. There's something magical about the Copenhagen setting and how the cinematography puts the audience in the perspectives of these 2 lovebirds in the introduction. It lets the audience know right away that these 2 are crazy for each other, and Mia's opening narration gives a hint of the emotional turmoil that's to come. The music is also excellent in how it puts the viewers into the shoes of these characters, both through the whimsy of their romance and the emotional weight of their fertility battle. Everything about this movie's aesthetic presentation is crisp and clean, and complements the story as opposed to hindering it. The supporting characters also do a good job of adding to the central issue of fertility and child rearing. Mia's best friend deals with an unplanned pregnancy that could be dangerous to her health, while her gay brother tries to adopt a child with his partner. And it's interesting to see their own unique situations affect Mia and Emil. Now, their problems aren't examined as in-depth compared to the leads, but they do enough to shake up the story, as does Mia's novel writing when she starts off hopeful in writing a comedy based on her situation, before turning it into a drama, and then eventually struggling to continue working on the story altogether. That being said, I would like for the movie to continue the slow pace it had in the first 20 minutes or so. After the romance is established, the movie has a hard time staying in one place for more than a minute or two before moving on to the next scene. The movie does make the most out of the time it has, but it would have been nice to allow more time for the movie's events to really settle in as they start to become more serious. I also had one little nitpick regarding Emil's struggles with infertility, but it's more funny than anything else. Throughout the time the pair try to have a baby, Emil's sperm count starts dropping to a really low number in a ridiculously short time span, to the point where I thought, okay, is this guy dying or something? Like I said, it's not a huge issue, and I appreciate how the movie explores issues of infertility for both characters instead of just one, as it shows how varied these types of situations can be. I just think that with the movie so obviously focused on Mia and her coming to terms with her predicament, it would have helped to add at least a bit more detail and realism to Emil's side of things. Ultimately, the movie still pulls off its central themes extremely well. The messages of acceptance, aging, and honesty with oneself all tie into each other beautifully, as they center on a loving family fighting to grow what they have and find it languishing as a result. It can be difficult to watch at times, especially if you may be someone who has experienced or continues to experience infertility, but it's not entirely hopeless. There's an underlying layer of hope behind this movie and its characters, which goes to show how much the power of love can help people through the most difficult of situations. Overall, A Copenhagen Love Story lives up to its name as a moving and thoughtful love story while going beyond its conventions and weaving a heartbreaking battle of infertility into it that threatens to drift its characters apart. If you enjoy more realistic romances or have dealt with infertility in your life and are looking for a relatable experience, you should check this one out. In spite of some issues with depth and pacing, the realistic dynamic of the lead characters and the thought put into its themes and atmosphere make it more enjoyable. It's not your average love story, but the way it inspires determination in its narrative leaves at least some part of it relatable to one's love life, no matter where they are in the world. What did you think about this movie? Did you like how realistic it was in its presentation, or did you find it emotionally difficult to watch? Let me know in the comments below. Anyways guys, that's going to wrap up my review of A Copenhagen Love Story. Thanks for watching this video, I hope you enjoyed it, and as always stay tuned for the next part, where next time I review the Japanese action flick, Demon City. Bye bye!